This is Sackboy, and over the years he's been in many games, and today I'm going to be playing every single one of them, starting off with LittleBigPlanet. Okay, so I'm assuming most of you guys watching this know the main LittleBigPlanet games, but if you don't, they're all platformers with the ability for you to create your own levels and play other people's levels, which was actually just amazing and groundbreaking for its time. I just have tons of memories of playing this game and watching my brothers play it all the time. The game is just super charming, and Sackboy himself being even more charming. I mean, the faces that he makes and the way you can move his arms and change his outfits, everything about this game is just perfect. The story mode is amazing, and it's not just another random platformer game from its time because of all the added tech to spice it up, including the grabbing of objects mechanic that you can also swing from, and the gadgets you can use, such as this jetpack. And let's be real here, jetpacks just make any game better. The music is also amazing as it fits into every vibe of the level, and the sound effects complement the whimsical feel to the game. The decoration, costume and stickers allow you to make cool outfits and decorate your pod, and if you don't know where your pod is, it's where you can select the games that you want to play. And while we're on that topic, the GUI of the game is actually amazing. So as soon as I completed the start of the story mode, I instantly went onto the online part of the game, which actually wouldn't be available right now as the servers have been shut down. But luckily I'm using RPCS3, which is a PS3 emulator, and actually allows me to play online. So as soon as I got into the online level select menu, I searched for my favorite level, this shark level. I also played this fun bomb survival level. So apart from the graphics being pretty bad, which is understandable as this game was released in 2008, LittleBigPlanet is an amazing game. Also let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and on to the next game. Okay, so now Sackboy's Prehistoric Moves is the next game, and this game was made mostly to show off the new PS3 Move controllers, which are basically Sony's version of the Wii controllers. And to be honest, this game just wasn't very good, because it lacks a lot of replayability as there is no level creator, and it's basically just a short story mode game, with the entire game only taking me 30 minutes to beat. But that's not to say the story mode was bad, as it does utilize some cool features with the Move controllers. Basically, once you see these pink bits on objects, you can point your game cursor on them and do different movements, like dragging them, making them bounce you up, and more. I also did like the theme of the game. It looks nice as it was set in a prehistoric world, hence the name. Also, the music is pretty good as well. The game also lacks the ability to customize your character, but to be honest, it isn't really needed, as it's basically just a short demo game advertising the PS3 Move controllers. So this game was alright. It did lack in a couple fields, and it was very short, but you can't really expect much from a demo game. Anyway, on to the next game. The next game is LittleBigPlanet 2, which is the second game in the main LittleBigPlanet franchise, and this game was definitely better than the first, and it's just perfect in every way. The story mode is great, with the main objective being that the Negativitron took over Craftworld, and it's your job to save it. Just like the first game, it's a platformer, with the same mechanics. The game also uses some gadgets, like this grapple gun, which was very fun to use. I also played in this boss fight, which was easy but surprisingly fun. The music and sound effects are also great. Also, the game now allows outfits, and you can also copy other people's outfits and use them for yourself, which was a great feature and would always get your friends mad. The online modes also got even better, and the people just got even more creative as they were making some really cool levels, like this bowling one, which I honestly just had no idea how to play. The developers also added water, which is cool, and the level creator also added the feature to make cutscenes, just like in the main story game, and people actually went crazy with this new feature. I mean, they started making full movies, and like I actually found one that's over 1 hour long, which is just insane. And the movies weren't even that bad as well. They had full storylines and everything.
Packed their things and moved out. The whole building just evacuated. Nobody's ever lived here since.
Oh, and I also found this getting over it level that I really wanted to play since I've played the actual game, but for some reason it just didn't work, which is really frustrating. But yeah, there's not actually much else to say about this game, as it's very similar to the first one, but I enjoyed playing it a lot, and I think it's a great updated game in relation to the first one. Anyway, on to the next game. The next game is LittleBigPlanet for the PS Vita. Now, me personally, I do think the Nintendo DS is better, but this is not the video for that. Now, this game is very similar to the main LittleBigPlanet games, with basically the same mechanics, outfits, systems, and everything. But what this game does do is utilize the touchscreen features of the PS Vita, and just like in Sackboy's Prehistoric Moves, you can move blocks and interact with objects using the touchscreen mechanic. The story mode of the game is also great, with the start of the game being set in a carnival, and the main story being that the puppet puppeteer, took over the carnival because some people booed at him, and it's your job to stop him. Also, the story is led by this guy called Colonel Flounder. The music in this game was actually a lot better than the other games. There were also some cool community levels, but the main point of this game is that it is a portable version of Little Big Planet, and you can basically play it wherever you want. So overall, it's a great addition to the Little Big Planet series, but it's nothing special, and for that I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Anyway, on to the next game. The next game is Little Big Planet Karting, which is the Little Big Planet equivalent to Mario Kart. And I'm just being honest here, this game was pretty bad. It just kind of feels like a copy and paste Mario ripoff with different textures. The game has very similar mechanics to Mario Kart, like the power-ups you can collect and the way you can drift. But the game does still keep some features from the Little Big Planet games, like custom community levels, as there are some good ones, but they're nothing special, as they're just different maps. There are also still costumes for Sackboy, and costumes for your car. Sadly, these don't actually do anything. It would be cool if they gave you increased speed or other abilities, but they don't. There is also a story mode to the game, but I wouldn't really call it a story mode, as it's just different levels against AI. My game was also insanely glitchy, and I actually had no idea why. I mean, there were literal giant walls I couldn't get past, and the roads kept disappearing. So this game just isn't that good, but I'll give it a better score just because of the community levels, as some of them are pretty cool. Anyway, on to the next game. This next game is called Run Sackboy Run, and it's a mobile game. The main premise of the game being that you need to run and collect bubbles. Yep, that's it. While avoiding this enemy guy, I don't know what he is, to be honest. And not surprisingly, this game is very boring. I guess they have some features like jumping, dashing. There's also quests to complete for more bubbles, and you can collect stickers as you're going, like in the normal Little Big Planet games. And the question you're all probably wondering is, what do the bubbles actually do? Well, you can buy outfits for Sackboy, and you can buy boosts. I think there's more, but I didn't go into any of that. There are also power-ups you can collect as you go, like any good infinite run game, like magnets to collect more bubbles, and I don't know what else. I think that's actually it. Oh, and there's also more sections or areas as you go through the game, which is just so exciting. But yeah, this game is just not very good, and I guess it was just the developers' attempt to dip their toes into the world of mobile games. But just do yourself a favor and don't play this game. Anyway, on to the next game. This next game is Little Big Planet 3, which is the last game in the Little Big Planet franchise, and this game was probably the best out of them all. First of all, the story in this game is amazing, with this guy at the start acting as your friend, but later he turns evil. But it's not just the story itself being good, but the gameplay and levels. And I mean, this new game came out with a ton of new mechanics and features, including the new climbing feature, sliding feature, these new jump pads, and some of these jump pads are blue, which means they can be activated whenever you please. And this was just some of the new features this game offers, with there also being new gadgets like this one, which allows you to blow objects in your way or turn wheels to help you progress, and this new gadget which can teleport you from one place to another just by shooting these balls. And these are only some of the new gadgets, as there is many more. The gameplay is also so smooth, and I mean, everything about this game is perfect, but I do have to say there's just too many stickers, costumes and stuff to collect around the map. They're just in every corner, and it just becomes too much, to the point where I just don't even want to get them. I just can't be bothered. But I can't forget about the new characters you can play as. Oddsock, Toggle and Swoop each have a set of their own abilities, like for example, Oddsock can wall jump and stick to walls. Also, going back to the story mode levels, there are these little side levels or side quests, which is so fun to play, like this one where you have to feed this person Sackboys, and they just add more gameplay to the game, making the story mode that more exciting. There's also good community levels as well, and I found one which literally has every item in the game in it, and I know a lot of you went on these types of levels as a kid. I also found this new game mode. It's called Challenges, so I loaded up this pinball one, which was surprisingly fun. But yeah, this is Little Big Planet 3, and I love this game so much, and it definitely deserves a 10 out of 10. Anyway, on to the next game. The next game is Sackboys Big Adventure, which is the last Sackboy game ever made. This game was alright. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't bad. This game is just a platformer with updated graphics that actually look really good. The main story is pretty good, with the objective being to stop this guy called Vex, as he's brought chaos to Craftworld. The platforming in this game is really good, but to be honest, the game gets boring. But I do like the art style and the music, but it's just missing a lot of charm that the older Little Big Planet games had. There are also no community levels, and the whole game is just story mode levels. But the game game does carry over some stuff from the older games, like the end of levels being similar, and there is still the ability to change your outfit. So this game isn't a bad game, but it lacks a lot of features that made the Little Big Planet games a lot better. So for this, it gets a 7 out of 10. And that is every game, so please like and subscribe. And I don't really know how to do outros, so see you in the next one.